Is every monster movie nowadays just gonna be an allegory for some sort of mental issue? What's up, Internet? I'm here reviewing a new movie called The Monster. It's in limited theaters right now. It's distributed by A24. Directed by Brian Bertino, director of The Strangers. And it stars Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantine. And it tells the story of a mother and daughter in a really unstable relationship who are stranded in the middle of a road in the middle of the night in a rainstorm. And there's a monster out there. Pretty standard. I really, I didn't know what to expect from this movie, but A24 has a tendency to release really good movies, so I wanted to check this out. I liked Brian Bertino from The Strangers, and I wanted to see what he had in store for, a monster movie. That's pretty, that would be pretty interesting, right? And, I was intrigued by this film. It was pretty good. It was alright. I think decent's a good word for it. Had some really, really good stuff, some not so great stuff, but I mean, overall, I still enjoyed it. But I want to just say right off the bat, this movie is horribly marketed, as are a lot of films like this nowadays, where it's marketed as more of, a creature feature, and it's really not. It's more of just like a dark family drama than it is a monster movie. Don't get me wrong, there's a monster in it, but it's more of a character piece that just happens to feature a monster rather than a creature-centric film. So I'm just gonna, dive into it, and we'll talk about what I enjoyed and what I didn't. Right off the bat, the acting in this film is stellar. Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantine, they do an amazing job portraying this really, really fucked up relationship between this mother and daughter. She's an addict and alcoholic. She's really just not a good mom, and ultimately the daughter is playing more of a mother to her than she is to her daughter. And it's really, really just, it's a fucked up relationship, and it's just, you're constantly getting all these flashbacks to their, all just the dysfunction in that family, and it's really, really, it's upsetting. It's, really just dark and unpleasant to watch, but I mean, the acting is fucking fantastic, because the both of them sell it, they sell it well. Also, the cinematography in this film, which, I mean, as expected from Brian Bertino, he's a great director, top notch. It's really up there. The shots in this film are gorgeous. It is very well lit. It's really, really stunning to look at. And I mean, that's something I did expect from this, because A24, like I said, they have a tendency to put out stuff that at the very least looks fantastic, and this was no exception. This looked incredible. This movie is really, really heavy, and it's got some... It gets dark, man. It gets real dark, and I really liked that. It does a good job at getting you attached to these characters, even though they're, not the best people. You're rooting for them to get better. You want to see things improve between them. It does a good job at really selling these characters and making it all feel very believable. The monster itself is, design-wise, it's fine. It looks pretty cool and they know when to show enough of it and when not to, and they know how to hide it in a way that looks really good. But I really want to stress, it's practical effects. It's all practical effects. It's a guy in a suit. It looks great. Why can't we do that more? Please, guys, I want more practical effects in movies like this. Please. CGI fucking sucks. And the monster itself is really more, it's more of an allegory. There is a physical monster in this film, but it functions more as an allegory for addiction and the way it fucks up people's lives around you. And that really kind of brings me over to my negatives for this movie, which the allegorical nature of this film is very heavy-handed. It's hardly subtext. It's in your face. It's very ham-fisted, and I was not a fan of just how beaten into your skull it was by the end. Because, yes, it is, it's nice to have a movie where, you have things that have double meanings like that, but it's being crammed down your throat, and I wasn't a fan of that. I mean, in a world where, allegorical monsters are the norm now, apparently, things like Under the Shadow and The Babadook, I did feel did it better than this movie. They were more subtle about it, and they handled it in a way that was much more nuanced, and it just felt more natural. This, again, was a little forced in that way. But, I mean, overall, I found myself caring more about the emotional drama between the mother and daughter than I did about the actual monster thing. It's part of the story, but I found myself not really caring about what happened there as much as I did care about what was going on with their relationship. Because I mean, ultimately, the monster's just kind of, it's there to move the plot along rather than actually be the center point of the movie. It's more just there to move things along between the mother and daughter and get them to a point where they can talk about their problems. But overall, I would say it's a decent film. I did enjoy it. I don't know if I'd ever really go out of my way to watch it again, but for what it was, for watching it for the first time, it was good, and I would definitely say it's a good for fans of, emotional slow burns with just a little bit of horror sprinkled in there. The horror really comes more from the mother-daughter relationship than it does from the actual monster. But yeah, if what I've said interests you, go check it out. It's pretty cool. It's in theaters, I think limited release right now. It's on VOD. Go watch it. Not a bad time. That's it for this one, guys. If you like me and my face and Mike's face and Mo's face, they're not here, but I mean, if you like us, you should click down there and subscribe to us and type up comments and say, hey, I saw the monster and I thought it was a pretty cool allegory for alcoholism. Like, comment, subscribe.